It's 7:30 p.m. in the part of the world where I am, and I decided just impromptu, to do a YouTube live video. So I'm not sure who is watching, wherever you are. Good evening. Must remind myself to face the camera. I'm Kevin, and I'm from Singapore, and I'm known for being in this specific field called responsible tourism. A little bit of my time, as and when I get the chance to do uh, on projects, specifically projects with small firms on corporate social responsibility. And I've been doing that for 5 years. It's the second company that I have. I haven't got a long list of clients, probably 6 to 7 clients. The latest one was 4 months ago, 3 months ago. And so I was asked by someone in my sphere of contact, someone who asked me if I could do either a podcast or a video on YouTube like this to talk about one or two main things or key things that small firms must take note of when they go on starting corporate social responsibility. So that's my sharing for this clip, which I don't intend to shoot more than 10 minutes. So what are the main things small firms must take note of when it comes to implementing corporate social responsibility? I think one of the basic things small firms must have is internally the awareness of how corporate social responsibility is going to serve them as a business, which means there must be this awareness amongst the employees in the company. There must be this collective awareness of why they are interested to get into corporate social responsibility. Businesses or companies go into corporate social responsibility initiatives for more than one reason. For some, it's to gain exposure as a corporate identity into this field or this sphere. And for some, it could be that it's a good way to keep their employees, especially the younger ones, motivated. For some, it could be to give the company or the business some exposure um, to make more potential audience know about them. That's what I mean. And so there are more than one reason. There is obviously more than one reason why companies would go into corporate social responsibility. I guess for some, though they are smaller firms, but for some small firms, it could also be to gain some of the market share. So I guess there are some things that small firms must have in place or must have when they are going to launch into corporate social responsibility. And the other thing which I feel small firms should have when they are thinking about going or stepping into this corporate social responsibility initiatives, which could be new to some small firms. I think it's the gathering of resources. Do you have the manpower? Do you have the people who not just are interested but know how to carry this thing forward in the medium term, in the long term? Resources could also be money. I think if you want to do corporate social responsibility, there must be a budget set aside. You can be very creative and do quite a bit with very little resources. But I think it will still economically it will still be a cost. So there's a cost in terms of finances. That means most of the time there will need to be a small budget at least. it will be a cost. There will also be the human cost, yeah, and you must set aside time. So that's the second thing which I feel small firms, some of them could be going into this 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 thing called corporate social responsibility. Sorry, quite unaware that there must be resources of some sorts that should be invested. So that's my humble take. When I'm not doing my thing in responsible tourism, that's one area which I like to go into. The relatively or fairly untapped space in the market, the small firms, and I have tended to work with very small firms, companies that typically have fewer than 20 or 30 staff. And it has been interesting, though it has also been quite a bit of a challenge, because when you work with small firms, you really must be very creative, and you must set expectations right with them. Not so much as to save your own skin, but I think setting expectations is important, because sometimes the client may be expecting too little in terms of what they can do. Quite a lot of times, the client may be expecting that the outcome is this big, when in reality it might not be so big. So I think setting expectations is key. So I hope to be doing this again, and maybe talking about some other topics. If you have topics related to responsible tourism or this corporate social responsibility for SMEs, you can let me know. Yeah, I think there's a way for us to communicate. You can type in a certain topic that you would like to see me speak on. So I will be back, I think, in 1 2 weeks time, to do another topic related to corporate social responsibility for small firms. Thank you for tuning in, and good night.